Well, here we are on Jackson Street in Seattle. Beautiful Chinatown or International District. And you see all the people. See a little streetcar. See the security guard in front of the bank building. And it's kind of a nice place. Lovely people walking up the street. And of course, about a year or so ago, we did away with dumpsters, I guess. And the rule became that you dispose of your trash by putting it in bags and leaving the bags to be picked up right here. There's a garbage truck picking them up, and they somehow missed these two bags. I don't know why they didn't pick them up. But as you can see, it makes for a lovely environment in the alleys between the buildings here in Seattle. Getting rid of the dumpsters and directing people to just bag up their garbage and just leave it to be picked up was a wonderful idea in hygiene and improving the looks of the city. And as this rainstorm comes down, we see all the people that inhabit this fine place. Sometimes it's the sidewalk they inhabit. What can I say? Catching a little rain in the middle of July. Putting spots on my lens. Wait. Okay, we'll cross the street here. See everything around. Look at all those garbage cans out to be picked up along that alley.
Yeah, it is. Oh.
Here's an abandoned streetcar station. They decided to destroy a bought and paid for streetcar system. So we're going to spend lots of money on new streetcar systems. Just destroy the old ones. And now we all these nice people down here. Oh, just the occasion. We come around on the 4th Avenue. From Jackson Street, we head up toward the downtown. Construction worker here. Taking a cigarette break. I think that's what he does. And I wipe the camera lens. Cuts down on the raindrops are falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying's not for me. My voice cracks. That's why I never was able to make a living as a singer. Howdy. There's the fire station. Used to be an old parking lot, but decided to build a shiny new fire station there about 10 or 15 years ago. We'll cross the street here, see how it all looks. Now we cross. We walk up this way. This is called Prefontaine Street, a little cut-through street to an opposite corner, named after a priest or preacher in the early days of Seattle whose name was Prefontaine. Some of these trees are fairly new and some have been here a while. If you look closely, you see these stains coming out of the doorway. They flow down the sidewalk. Some people just can't go inside and use the bathroom. They just pee right there. And of course nobody does jack shit about it. There are people waiting at the bus stop. And here we are looking across at the courthouse and the park in front of the courthouse. I think they call it City Hall Park, because once upon a time the Seattle City Hall was in this neighborhood. And as you can see, it's a lovely place. Look at all the lovely people enjoying themselves in the park. There's a little construction project on this side of the street. Well, that's a temporary thing. You see more people around the Prefontaine Fountain. And I can tell you, if you want a safe place to let your little kids run around and enjoy a day at the park, why, this is the place to take them. Can't you just tell? This light taking a while to change. Yeah, we're getting a bit of rain.
Yeah, I think so.
And now we can cross the street and take a look at this lovely park right next to the King County Courthouse. Holy smokes! Usually we don't see cops anywhere around here. But today we're lucky. We get 3 of King County's finest here. Just riding through, making sure everyone is safe. No one needs any help, no medical emergencies. That's kind of an interesting way to dress when it's a little rainy. Chairs knocked over for some reason. People enjoying themselves at the benches on the park there by the courthouse. Look at all the lovely people hanging out by the fountain that used to be a fountain. We go on up here. Pioneer Square art, Northwest culture, art, music, history, events, shopping, all that fun stuff. I suppose there's some of that going on around here. These trees are quite historical. Look how huge these trunks are. These trees have been here a long time. We got a guy playing a saxophone. We got some kind of bag toss thing here. There's a big old chess set over there. And a couple of gentlemen apparently are playing chess. I think that's what they're doing. Doesn't this look like an inviting environment to spend your lunchtime munching on your sack lunch or some meal you bought at one of these local restaurants? That's what we have here. Now guys, I gotta get real serious about this. I'm a bit sarcastic and I admit that, but you know, the courthouse employees, you know, the bailiffs and the judges, the county employees, the sheriffs who work, the deputy sheriffs who work in the little sheriff's office in the first floor, county councilmen, they're kind of used to going through this neighborhood. But you think about people called to jury duty, because this is where most of the Superior Court for King County is. This is where the district court for the Western District of King County is located. This is formerly called the Seattle branch. And you know, in order to reach these entrances, to get into the courthouse, jurors, people called to jury duty, have to come down here and walk through this environment. They have to. That's how they get here. And if you talk about somebody who lives and works in some place like Skycomish or Kirkland, Woodinville, Kenmore, Bellevue, places like that, maybe they work at the Microsoft complex in Redmond, coming down here through this neighborhood to get to this entrance is going to be a whole new experience for them. They'll say to each other things like, gee, I didn't know it was this bad. But I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's been this bad since 1860. Now, once upon a time, the King County Courthouse was up this steep hill where Harborview is now. They just built this down here sometime like 1913 or sometime like that. There's the block that used to be the public safety building where the Seattle cops hung out. Now it's a big hole in the ground surrounded by a fence. There's the new city hall, and then there's the new public safety building where the cops hang out now. You might have read novels where the murder detectives or the Seattle Police Department would have their offices on the 7th floor of the public safety building. Well, where those stories took place is now literally up in the air. We have air where they did that. And we have a fire truck going through there. Lots of nice people. We can walk down the James Street side of the courthouse But to get to these entrances in the morning, people called to jury duty have to walk through this neighborhood. Now, if they're like law-abiding citizens who are never in trouble with the law except maybe for a traffic ticket 3 years ago, they come walk through this neighborhood, they get on the jury, they survive the voir dire, and then they look at the defendant, and even if the defendant took his lawyer's advice and wore a suit and tie to the court, he's still likely to remind them of one of these fine people we see in this neighborhood. So, when it comes to like credibility determinations and other such judgments that a jury might make, well, I can't help but thinking that the street disorder that we see around here and the fact that this neighborhood never seems to get cleaned up is a feature, not a bug, as far as the powers that be are concerned. I mean, after walking through this just to get to the courthouse so they can do their jury duty, they're gonna be in more of a mood to stick it to whatever poor defendant is sitting at the table in front of them, next to his attorney, usually a public defender. And that's just the way it is. I just can't help but think that maybe people sitting in doorways and smoking, sitting down on the sidewalk smoking their cigarettes and all that, right next to the King County Courthouse, right smack next to, is a deliberate policy to put juries in a mood to convict whatever poor defendant is before them in a trial. Whether it's the misdemeanor court on the 3rd floor of the King County District Court or the felony courts and the superior courts on all the other floors. We'll just walk down this street to give you a fair gist of what we have here. Here's a guy walking with a blanket over his shoulders. Isn't that interesting?